Welcome, beautiful Paris Saint-Germain family. I just came back from rewatching the entire Paris Saint-Germain Marseille game. One thing I can tell you for sure is we definitely dominated them. Marseille had three chances. They had three chances during the entire game. I would say three big chances actually. The Mbappe chance and both Vitinha chances. But they couldn't convert them. Because they were low in confidence. And that's what I love from this Paris Saint-Germain team. I think the fear we're putting in the opponent is astronomical. I mean, when you look at what the Marseille players and previous teams that have faced us, they say we can't play our game. Teams are doing this five at the back at a crazy rate. Last season, the teams that went into a five at the back were mostly, low teams in Ligue 1 and mid teams in Ligue 1. But now we got Marseille in Le Classique. We got Dortmund last week in the Champions League playing a five at the back against us. And what that tells you is this Paris Saint-Germain team is putting fear into its opponent. But let's talk about the game and let's talk about the individuals who performed in this game. Obviously, Marseille pulled up with a five at the back in this game, changing from their usual 4-3-3 that they've always played this season. Obviously, I know they played the five at the back versus Ajax, but that's different. This is Le Classique. You're playing against Paris Saint-Germain. You can't be doing this stuff. Whilst Paris Saint-Germain, they were one step ahead, or may I say, Luis Enrique, because he pulled up with this beautiful 4-2-4, four attackers, a two midfield pivot of Warren and Ugarte, and that backline. And in absolute dominant fashion, we destroyed Marseille in this game. We had 77% possession, 15 shots to 6 shots, 5 shots on target compared to Marseille's 0, and we had 806 passes completed to Marseille's 241, which was absolute complete domination in this game. And let's go through quickly every PSG player that played some minutes in this game and talk about their performance. Let's start with the goalkeeper, Gianluigi Donnarumma. I thought he didn't face any shots on target. Marquinhos obviously with the amazing block, Vitinha hitting the crossbar, but that was pretty much it when it came to Gianluigi Donnarumma. I still think he's far away from the ball at his feet. Like, he still needs to improve that immensely, and I still don't understand how managers are not seeing that and are not trying to improve that in training. Let Donnarumma play with the attackers, let him try to dribble. He will get more confident with the ball at his feet, because in some instances he put some long balls into throw-ins for Marseille very high up, and we remember against Arsenal the same thing happened right there, which gave them a free goal at the end of the game. So Donnarumma still has to fix that, but apart from that, good game for him. Next up is obviously the man of the match, Achraf Hakimi, and what a player he is. 4 shots, 1 goal, 1 shots created, 1 block shot, 114 touches, 11 passes into the final third, and 7 recoveries with 4 duels won. He had a complete game, both defensively and offensively, and obviously contributed for the first goal, for the second goal, and for the third goal as well, with his run making Dembele have so much space to put in that cross to Gonzalo Ramos. And if Achraf Hakimi can keep this up, it's absolutely insane. His free kick goal was a beauty. I mean, we've seen him doing that with Morocco, but this was the first time he did it with Paris Saint-Germain, and it was absolutely beautiful. Early in the game against Marseille, scoring a free kick, it just does not get better than that. So hopefully Hakimi can keep this consistency up, because at the moment he's playing as the best right back in the world, clearly, and one of the best right backs of all time, because the completion in his game, a lot of the fullbacks recently nowadays that are great are very bad defensively, whilst Achraf Hakimi is good on both sides, defensively and offensively. So big ups to Achraf Hakimi. Next up, we have Marquinhos, the captain, obviously. Marquinhos so far this season has looked usual Marquinhos from his prime time, because everything he does, his defensive contributions, his passing, his safetiness, that block on Vitinha, as I mentioned, it was absolutely superb for Marquinhos. And I just hope that he can keep this consistently. I will be saying this for every PSG player, because we can't forget we're only in September, and players performing in 8, 6, 7 games is not that big of a thing. So we just need to keep this consistently, and hopefully the players can perform like this in bigger games and in better times. Milan Skriniar, obviously, when I rewatched the entire game, his aggressivity was immense. How many times he won the ball back when Marseille actually tried to counterattack us. He had 7 recoveries this game, which was absolutely beautiful. He had the one mistake which led to that Vitinha chance. It was when he missed his header and the ball went straight to Klaus, but hopefully Milan Skriniar does not do that again. But apart from that, really good game from the Slovakian centre-back. Lucas Hernandez, Mr. Consistent. He's putting in consistent performances every game, and I would put him as the best PSG player so far this season alongside Manu Ugarte, because the consistency, the maturity in that team is absolutely beautiful to see. Lucas Hernandez against Marseille, the team that people said, oh, he's from Marseille, he's this, dropped another great performance, very aggressive in duels, in everything, and what a player he is. And I'm so grateful that we got our hands on Lucas Hernandez. Next up, it's Manuel Ugarte. I just can't stop talking about Manuel Ugarte because the way he plays, I've not seen a 6 being able to play this game, because some 6s are good with the ball, some 6s are good defensively, some 6s have this. Ugarte is just a complete 6. He has everything you want a 6 to have. People can name, oh, he doesn't score goals. That's not his job. His job is to win the ball back, and his job is to keep the ball at his feet, and his job is to pass the ball upwards. And that's exactly what he's doing in a great fashion. He had 5 passes into the finals third with 6 out of 8 tackles won, and his long balls are just getting better and better game after game with 4 accurate long balls this game, 9 duels won. Manuel Ugarte, what a performance. Keep it up, my boy. Next up, obviously, it's Warren Zaire-Emery. This guy is 17 and I can't understand it. I still feel Paris Saint-Germain should have a better midfielder there, but listen, if there's anybody that deserves this playing time, that deserves to gain this experience, it's Warren Zaire-Emery. He's fought himself away from the under-16 to the under-19 to now the Paris Saint-Germain starting 11. And he's the captain of the under-21, which is the youngest captain. He's the youngest team in that squad, but he's still the captain, which just talks about his maturity and what a player he is. Yesterday, he just showed maturity, because you can't forget Marseille is a big game, and he played it like it's a normal 5-a-side game outside of your house. Warren didn't care, and that's what I absolutely love about him. He's not scared of the lights. He's not scared of the big stage, and we just gotta see more from my boy. One disclaimer though, obviously after the game, PSG players went close to the ultras, were chanting songs and everything. Warren with the megaphone, everybody was happy, but in that instance, there were some video footage, and Kolomwani and Ousmane Dembele were seen chanting this. Ligue have now started an investigation for a potential suspension for the players of Lavin Kurzawa, which we don't care about, Randal Kolomwani, Ousmane Dembele, and Achraf Hakimi. Taitayo, a Marseille player, did this a few years ago with anti-PSG chants, and he got a 1-game suspension in Ligue and Uber Eats. So we will have to wait and see if this investigation gives a suspension to Randal Kolomwani, Achraf Hakimi, Ousmane Dembele, and Lavin Kurzawa. And now let's talk about the attackers. We have Bradley Barcola, who for his debut dropped a beautiful performance, both offensively and defensively. Had 2 chances created, 4 out of 6 dribbles completed, 1 clearance, 2 interceptions, 8 defensive actions, 5 recoveries, and 10 duels won. Barcola did it offensively and defensively. And listen, this is his first game. We saw Kolomwani's first game, we saw Dembele, we saw Gonçalo Ramos. Nobody dropped a first game. Maybe Dembele's against Toulouse, that half was really good, but Barcola's debut has been really good, and I just can't wait to see him playing more with the Paris Saint-Germain badge. And yeah, again, what a beautiful signing from Luis Campos. Pretty much all of these players were signed by Campos or Nasser Khalifi, so a big applaud to them for signing these gems, and they will contribute for Paris Saint-Germain this season and for the upcoming seasons, because you can't forget that the PSG have one of the lowest average ages when it comes to the entirety of Europe, which just tells volumes of where the squad will be in just not this season, but also in future seasons. Next up, Ousmane Dembele. I thought he was the second best player in this game. 6 key passes. Let me say that again. 6 key passes. 5 passes into the final third, 91 touches, 4 out of 9 accurate crosses. He was just absolutely insane. Even defensively with 7 recoveries, 2 defensive actions, 4 duels won. Ousmane Dembele. Ousmane Dembele. I'm starting to get more familiar with your game, and what a performance you had today. The thing with Ousmane Dembele is, I believe I'm a bit scared when he gets injured. I think we're a bit too reliant on him on that right-hand side, playmaking wise. Obviously, I could see Bradley Barcola play that position. Obviously, not as good, but Dembele, you're too good. You're too good. Like, if you get injured, which you have a big history of, we may be in trouble. But as long as you're on the pitch, it's trouble for the opposition. Keep it up, Dumbos. Before we talk about the striker duo, the dynamic duo of Randal Kolo Muani and Gonçalo Ramos, let's talk about Kylian Mbappe. Obviously only played 30 minutes, went out, and while I've looked at the reports, it seems to be not a big issue when it comes to Kylian Mbappe. He will be fit to play the Clermont game, to start that game. So this is a good rest to give Kylian Mbappe, and Lucho himself said it wasn't that big of a thing. It was more that he was hurt rather than an injury, and we just wanted to give him some rest. And obviously from the bench, as I said, Gonçalo Ramos came in, and him and Randal Kolo Muani, obviously 3 goals between them and 1 assist. And look, now they've started scoring. I've always said, when our strikers with a S start scoring goals, that's when it will be scary for Europe, because we have been heavily reliant on Kylian Mbappe scoring the goals for us so far this season. He went out and we finally saw this double striker duo, and he cooked. Gonçalo with the header and late finish, Randal with that tap in and that great assist for the Gonçalo late goal. This duo will take Paris Saint-Germain far. Obviously, Kolo Muani did not have that great performance. His touches, his playmaking was not at his best, but one thing I loved about him was he continued to fight throughout the entire game. So a big applause to our 2 beautiful strikers. And briefly, we can talk about the substitute bench, as I said. Last season, we had Soler, we had Ekitike, we had some youngsters coming off the bench when we needed them. But in today's game, we had Gonçalo Ramos, Fabian Ruiz, Danilo Pereira, Carlos Soler, and Noureddine Mukiele coming off the bench. It just speaks volume of what Paris Saint-Germain have done in the transfer market this summer. The bench we have, these would have been starters for us last season. I could have seen Gonçalo starting us for us last season, especially with the injuries. Fabian Ruiz was a starter. Danilo Pereira was a starter. Carlos Soler started a lot of games. Mukiele as well. So these players being bench player for us just talks volumes of how good Paris Saint-Germain's depth finally is. We don't have a team. We don't have a starting 11. We have a squad with a big S. Squad. Next game is obviously versus Clermont next weekend. And I just can't wait to see what Paris Saint-Germain will do in that game. Obviously, we have the Newcastle game straight after, so maybe Paris Saint-Germain take it a bit easy, get a 3-0 comfortable win, take the 3 points. Obviously, we're still climbing in Ligue 1. We haven't been first in the league since match day 1. We gotta get back to the top. This is Paris Saint-Germain. This is no joke. But, people, this is only the beginning. I'm telling everybody, this is only the beginning. What Paris Saint-Germain will do this season will be historic in both Paris Saint-Germain history and in football history. This team will achieve greatness, and you guys will be there supporting this team. That has been it for the Paris Saint-Germain versus Marseille review and how we absolutely dominated and destroyed them, and looking at individual performances. Hopefully, if you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments down below if I missed anything big from this game. That has been it, and as usual, allez Paris.